So today we are doing a feature. If you don't know about it, it's a feature that we do once a month. We call it the Healing Hour. We dedicate an hour to have a conversation among ourselves as friends, as the 702 family. It's a safe space, and I always want to remind you before we even chat that this is a safe space to share our pain, to share our stories of survival, our experiences as friends, as family, as a community, with no judgment. And today we're healing from family estrangement and isolation, whether as a result of conflict or toxicity, or maybe you are not accepted at home for your religion or for your sexuality or whatever it is. So you've now made a choice to isolate yourself from your family or a particular member of your family. Maybe you're no longer at friendly terms with them. You've created some distance between you guys. Why have you taken that decision, and how are you healing from it? Have you found peace? Are you at a better place since you isolated yourself? Are you perhaps the one that's been isolated? Maybe it's your child who is estranged from you. Maybe it's your spouse, your parents, your siblings, your cousin. And there are all different factors that may lead to people deciding to just walk away from a family. Maybe for you it's divorce. Maybe there was too much conflict in the home. You just were tired of seeing the violence or the conflict or the fights or the abuse. Or maybe there was just so much toxicity at home. Or there was so much negativity with that particular family member that you just needed to isolate yourself. Maybe there was sexual violence and abuse. Or maybe you've made certain life choices that the family now doesn't align with, and you've decided to walk away because they've not accepted some of the life choices that you've made. How are you healing from that? And what's happened that led you to make that decision to isolate yourself from a family? I'd like you to give us a call on 011-883-0702 to share your story with us. Alternatively, you can send a WhatsApp voice note on 072-702-1702. If you prefer to tell your story through email, you can do that on cm@702.co.za. For many of us, of course, we expect family to be a source of love, right? We expect family to be a source of support, a source of belonging. But let's be honest, family can also be a source of pain. It can also be a source of conflict. It can be a source even of disconnection. Far from that love and support and belonging that you expect from the family. So do you have a family member who has distanced themselves from you and your family? Or you felt forced, maybe you are the one that distanced themselves. You were forced, you think, to create a distance from your family because of toxic behavior. Or maybe because there were disagreements about certain things. Or there was just unacceptance about who you are, what you now believe in, or the new journey you've charted for your family. Some people feel so abused by families who feel entitled that they want this all the time. And if you can't provide, then it becomes a big thing, or you're seen as the enemy and you end up just distancing yourself. Maybe whether it was you who felt like you didn't belong, perhaps it was due to family conflicts, toxicity from family members, or family just doesn't accept your lifestyle or life choices. Maybe your religious beliefs, your relationship choices. You know, there are sometimes families that are unhappy with who you are in love with. And sometimes you decide to stick with your lover, with your spouse, with your partner, and you separate yourself and isolate yourself from the family. Or maybe you felt betrayed by the actions of a particular family member. You felt you weren't being supported. Or it was your own destructive behavior or even substance abuse that brought you here where you are no longer in good terms with your family. You are completely estranged. Give us a call on 011-883-0702. The WhatsApp line is 072-702-1702. How are you healing from that? How are you healing from those feelings of rejection, of guilt, of shame that's related to your family relationships? Is this whatever happened that led to you deciding to isolate yourself? Whether it's from your children, your parents, your siblings. Do you have a family member who has isolated themselves, or you are the one who's decided to leave? What was the reason for that? And how are you healing?
702
Healing Hour.
16 minutes, in fact, 17 minutes after 10 o'clock. Let's go straight to your calls and your WhatsApps now. On our Healing Hour today, we are discussing how we are healing from family estrangement, or maybe you've decided to isolate yourself from your family. Why did you decide to do that, and how have you been dealing with that? How have you been healing from that? Let's start with you, Johnny, calling us from Houghton. Good morning.
Morning, how's it, everybody? And yourself as well, sir.
Thank you for calling us. We're good, thank you. What's your story?
Yeah, my story is just a short one, man. This topic, it's a deep socialized topic into family streams and stuff like that. But with me, growing up with a mom who struggles, end up living up in a shack, looking after us well and stuff like that. We had cousins, we grew up together. They used to visit, we used to visit them, December time and stuff like that. They grew up, we grew up. They, through academically, successfully made it. And in time, they engage with, success. And then, unfortunately, on my side, we're still struggling with my family. But fortunately, I'm the one who's thriving now. But now you see, you don't feel this thing, you see this thing, you identify with this thing, where a family member shifts, they swift away from you. Just because of finance differences. Remember which now they used to come to the shack areas with us and come and see us. Now they're driving big cars. Now when you visit them, they need to pick you up at Southgate. No more getting there because they have engaged with relationships in terms of their husbands, and they don't want to be seen there anymore. They distance themselves. But something that you start seeing, they used to come on taxis when they never made it. Now they got big cars. Now they can't even drive to those squatter camps where you live in. So you distance yourself slowly because you don't want to damage your brain cells. You just distance yourself because of you feel this in the differentiation. Once you move, then you go see the success of their houses. And now they teach you how to even press, a TV station. No, don't press that things like a remote. Those DSTV remotes, as if you don't understand how this thing operate. No, it's got Saramos, I don't do this. You can't even open up a fridge for cold water. They need to peri-pat you and serve you. But in that sense, you distance yourself. What do you do? Psychologically, just say, as my cousin, I looked up to you, and then let me just shift away, and then you do your success, And ironically, in life, things change, And they tell you also, don't treat my man as your friend. When the husband calls you for a drink, come and drink my Suarez, you would put it. And then your sister asks, this guy, my man, your friend. I told me out, but you said nothing, you invited. So
Johnny,
you feel these things, and then you just move and shift away. And then later on, life changes because life is a long journey. I started making it, and then they had fights with whatever the husbands and the wives. Now they start calling me. Now things, because he's so scared. Now they started coming close because I found myself without it. Now they started moving close to my life, and I'm like, no, we ain't going to play this game.
Yeah. Oh, Johnny, that's just so terrible to hear. I'm so sorry about that experience. There's nothing as worse as going through a difficulty with people. I mean, if you and your cousins were so close, growing up together, they were coming to visit, and the minute they start to make it and they're somehow successful, they don't look back. And they start isolating themselves in some ways. Or they lead you guys to start isolating yourselves because at the time they are the ones that are making it, and because you are so uncomfortable with how they treat you as sort of like an outsider, the subhuman, then you end up isolating yourself because of that. It's just so tragic. when you're experiencing something like that from a family member. Thank you for sharing your story with us, Johnny, in Houghton. And I'm so glad to hear that you are making it as well, and you're doing well for yourself. Thabo, you're in Midrand. Good morning.
Hi, Clement. Thanks
Sure.
for having me. Well, I'm a little estranged very estranged from my little sister,
Yeah.
the last born, who has treated me so badly, has spoken to my family about me so badly. At some point, I had to move back home, and as a result, she would then speak to my mom and tell her all kinds of nonsensical things. And all of this happened after I lost a lot of things after COVID, and plowing my way out of the hole, I got the worst treatment I could possibly get from a sister. She's doing well, and as a result, I have told her numerous times how to get to where she is, and encouraged her and all of the above. But when chips fell for me, yeah, she was a different person altogether. But yeah, things are shaping up, but I don't know if it is possible to forgive somebody
Yeah.
who's shown.
Were you guys close, Thabo?
Yes, I have hosted, I think, two of her biggest birthdays. I used to live in a Gulf estate, and we had a good life. And when the chips fell and I lost everything, she has absolutely no respect for me, or yeah, I don't know. There's just so much to say, but I don't think this is probably going to be, one needs counseling for this. I think, because
where are the
obviously you love
parents?
your family members.
And what do you guys still have both your parents, and what are they saying?
Yes,
Have they
we do.
tried to intervene?
No, they don't. They don't intervene. I actually once asked my mother, "Do not speak about me when you speak to your daughters." So, because I could tell that I'm being spoken about Kalinyato, if you know what I mean,
Sure,
Yeah.
Thabo.
But nonetheless, this was the case with actually not just family. It was even friends and the rest of it. People
Yeah.
don't remember the good times.
Yeah, Thabo, that's not cool, man. I really hope that things can come together and there can be some kind of resolution. Family is of course important, but also sometimes if family is not treating you well, or family doesn't feel like love and belonging and support that it's supposed to feel like, then you've got to prioritize yourself, and you've got to take decisions that put you at peace. So yeah, as sad as it will always be to hear of stories of people who decide to walk away, sometimes that becomes quite important for your own peace. Tibos, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. Truly appreciate it. He's calling from Midrand. Lorato, you are in Johannes. Let's start with Connie first. In fact, Connie in Santon. Connie, hi.
Hi, Clement. How are you?
I'm all right, Connie. Go ahead. What's your story?
Great show, by the way.
Thank you.
I just want to share my story. For me, it's been an emotional roller coaster for the past 6 years. So my sister passed away in 2019, right? She left. She was my last sister remaining. So we are 4 girls. I'm the last born. So I was just only with her. And then she passed away, leaving me with her kids. And her kids were so grown to a point of being able to take care of things like, things from work, money,
Oh, Connie, we're losing you there. Sorry, Connie. Can I ask you to just start it? We lost you after you said your sister died in 2019 and left you with the children, and then what happened?
Okay. So after she passed away in 2019, we buried her, And we were all, I suppose, consumed by grief, right? Me, her kids, and my mom, which is her mom as well. And there were so many external forces that were influencing the kids because the mother had been working for a certain company for like 18 years. So there was good money that was coming to the kids, right?
Yeah.
And I'm working, so I'm financially independent. My mom's a pensioner, she's comfortable. But the kids were influenced so bad to a point whereby after the mother was buried, they were told that me and my mom are going to eat their money. So if you know what's good for them, they need to move out so that they can enjoy their mom's hard work by themselves. And I try to sit with them down. I try to intervene in terms of going for counseling, getting social workers to intervene and so forth. But the external voices were so loud. The kids, they left 2019 shortly after burying my sister. And they went and blew the money, Clement, right? Now, I'm
it's okay.
Emotional.
It's okay, Connie.
Now,
Take your time.
2025, they finished the money. Now they want to come back to me. And I'm still so angry about what they did because their mom would work hard for them.
Yeah.
And my plan was to advise them on how to make their mom's money work for them so that they are fine and everything. And I've been in that emotional roller coaster for the past 6 years. Now they want to come back and I just can't find it in my heart to forgive them because I'm still not hurt to say, first of all, you guys didn't have a father. Your father died when you were still young. My sister and I raised you two together. You know that I love you. I wouldn't have done anything to hurt you or harm you or even try to scam you off your mother's money, but you had to go and listen to external voices and allow them to ruin our relationship. You went out there and you blew the money. Now today the money is finished. You want to come back to me and I need to forgive you guys. Like, how do I do that? So I'm not even sure that I'm feeling on my end.
Sure, Connie, I can only imagine how difficult that is when you've raised people like that and all you've been to them was love and support, because that's a betrayal to you. That's a rejection.
It was. And for the fact that all my other sisters passed away, they were literally the only family that I was looking at to say, okay, my mom is 80, so anytime God might come and find her. So they are literally the only family that I have. And for them to have allowed external forces to come and divide us like that, I just didn't understand. And they were grown. Like, the other one was almost 30, the other one was in her early 20s, and then the last born was around 15 or so. So the last born, to a certain extent, I understood that, okay, but he was influenced by the two sisters who were in their 20s. And so I find it more easier to forgive him. But the grown sisters, they really hurt me so bad. That's why I'm saying, I don't know if I'm healing. It's been an emotional roller coaster because for years I've been asking myself, why did you allow something like that to happen? So it really breaks my heart. So actually, thank you for the topic and allowing some of us to open up, because I'm struggling to heal from this. It's 6 years, but it seems like it happened yesterday.
And have they taken accountability, Connie? Do they realize that they messed up, they made a mistake? What are they saying now? Do they just want to come back, or are they taking accountability and realizing that they did something wrong here?
Yeah, one of them, so the middle child did reach out to me. She said she wanted to talk, and then she came through. We spoke. She just said, they call me Nani, so Kimangwani.
Yeah.
She just said, Nani, look, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everything. You didn't deserve it. All you've been was a great co-parent to us with our mother after we lost our father, because we don't know our father. Our father died when we were still like so young, and you took up to yourself to help our mom raise us, because my sister had 3 kids, but she was working, I don't want to call it an average job. I'm doing better than her, right? And then I've got 1 kid. So after her husband died, I sat with my sister down and said, look, I'm doing better than you, and not in a disrespectful manner. You are doing slightly below me. So how about we package the kids? So we are a parent of 4 kids. My kid, your kids, all of us, we raise them together. Do you know what I mean? So from childhood, we've been raising 4 kids. When she does something, she knows that she has to do for 4 kids. When I do something, I have to do for 4 kids. So we did the whole parenting together. They never lacked nothing. They never lacked nothing. Like I denied myself and my only baby what could have been a comfortable life, just to make sure that my sister's children don't feel some type of way left out, or you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, Connie. Oh, that is so heartbreaking. After the sacrifices, and I think I get a sense of why that feels so painful to you, and it feels like such a betrayal and a rejection given the sacrifices you've made to make sure that they have a better life. So I hope you can also, kudos to you. Hope you can also appreciate yourself that you have done what you could. You've done what you could. And I hope at some point you'll find it in your heart to sit down with them and talk, and you don't have to be forced to forgive them. If you're not ready for it, that's also fine. You don't have to force yourself into a space that doesn't give you peace. But after everything that you have done for those children and for them to decide to just walk away like that, I think that helps us understand the kind of pain that you may be feeling. Thank you so much for sharing that story with us, and I hope you can find some healing from that. It's just after 10:30. Let's just get the latest in Eyewitness News headlines. When we come back, more of your calls on 011-883-0702. WhatsApp's on 072-702-1702 as we continue with our healing hour. And I'm asking you, have you isolated yourself from your family? Has someone isolated themselves from you? And how have you been healing from that? 22 minutes before 11 o'clock, we are in the middle of our healing hour feature. It's our monthly feature, and today we are healing from family estrangement and isolation. Have you isolated yourself from your family or a particular family member? What's the reason for that? How have you been affected by that? How are you healing from that? Or maybe there's someone in the family who has isolated themselves from you. How have you taken it? We're taking your calls on 011-883-0702. I'll go to your WhatsApp in a moment on 072-702-1702. Lorato, you're calling us from Johannesburg. Good morning.
Good morning, Clement. Good morning to the listeners. So, Clement, this is actually very triggering here. So my story is that we had a perfect family of 6, right? These are my 3 sisters, all 4 of us, all girls, and we've got our late father and our mother, right? So our father passed in 2015, and our mother, who we always thought was strict, is still around. So since the passing of my dad, our mom has just become someone else. We can't recognize her. My sisters and I were always trying to figure out if we did something, to her or to the family. And it's 4 successful girls, right? Those families in a township where that these girls went to school, they've got great careers, they don't have kids out of wedlock, they don't do substance abuse, but what's happening in the yard, no one has a view of. So the one person that's estranged to my sisters and I is our mother. We had no idea who she's become, and this started happening about 3 years post my dad's passing. when my dad was no longer there, we then realized that this means she wasn't strict. She was actually not the kindest of people. I remember this one time I went to therapy, and my therapist asked me that if you had a choice, would you have chosen her as a mother? And I said I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have, because I feel like I know what love is from what my dad showed us, right? He left us with so much love that's what my sisters and I are holding on to. And I think what I want to do is just to share or just the typical characters, right, or personalities of who my mom is. She's the perfect mom to other people. She is the churchgoer, she's loved in the community. But she hates her kids. Like, we don't get it. When you go to church, they'll tell you things like, you need to respect your mom and dad. But we don't have that on our end, because we feel like she doesn't love us. What she does, Clement, I think that has touched us all with our sisters, is that she will make up stories about us, and she'll start believing them. So, for example, there was a time I went home. Out of nowhere, she starts just shouting at me. She says to me, you are just a mess of a child. You shouldn't be, this education that you have is driving you crazy. You shouldn't be where you are today. You should be smoking now. And I'm thinking, how does a mother say this to a child that did absolutely nothing? So there's a lot of things that have happened that have made us feel like we don't know who our mother is.
Sure. Yeah, Lorato, that's so hectic, especially because your dad is also no more. So it's almost like, who do you talk to now in a situation like that? Is there an elder, perhaps, that can somehow intervene in that family? Lorato, I hope things will shape up. I really hope they'll shape up in the family. Thank you for sharing your story with us. Let's go to some WhatsApps on 072-702-1702.
Hello, Clement. Cecilia speaking from Tembisa. Regarding a topic yanamhlanje, isolation, I'm actually a living testimony of that. I've isolated myself from my family. It's been 3 years now, going on 4, and peace of mind in nayo. Ndine peace of mind, ndiphila one-man show. It's only me and my daughter, because I went through a lot. I've been through a lot because of them. And I decided, you know what, let me just cut these people off for his sake, a peace of mind. So I'll do anything to protect my mental health. Ndiphila nabantu bestrata and kumandi shem. Kumandi. So yeah, njalo.
Good morning, Clement. My guy, I'm even ashamed to call that woman my mother. That woman is so divisive. That woman is evil. That woman wants everyone in the family to kneel before her. I haven't seen or spoken to her in many years, and I wish for it to remain like that. I don't want her near my kids. And you know what she has done now? She has divided the family. The family has been divided for many years because of her. She's a crook, Clement. She's heartless. And now she has recruited my siblings into her shenanigans. I want nothing to do with that woman. I still talk to other family members, cousins, lebo auntie, lebo mamncane, lebo mamkhulu, but yena, I want nothing to do with her. In fact, I don't think that woman carried me for 9 months. She wants nothing to do with me. I want nothing to do with her. She wishes me evil. She wishes me to do not be nothing in life. And I want nothing to do with her, Clement. I hate that woman.
Sure.
Thank you. It's anonymous.
Sure. Yeah, anonymous. I think we can almost feel that hatred. Yeah, I'm sorry that that's a situation. I don't think there's anybody who just wants to have a relationship like that with their mother where they hate them and the mother hates them as well. And it doesn't look like there's even an interest to want to try and resolve and have someone intervene. So if it brings you peace, Anonymous, if you are at peace, then I suppose that's what matters. There are people who are sending messages on the WhatsApp line. Someone says, Clement, this topic is such a trigger. I'm more into friends than family. So there are people who have made family out of the people they've met outside of the family. I want to go through some of the emails that have come through and then back to your calls and WhatsApps. Someone says here, hi Clement, I'm a 50-year-old lady who hasn't had any contact with my mother or my son for 9 years now. I tried so hard, loved so much, did so much, but every time there was so much toxicity. My mom, my whole life, would always belittle me. My son unfortunately got influenced by a toxic ex, so both of them joined forces and I became the black sheep. Having contact would make me physically and mentally ill for weeks on end. I'm much healthier and better without having contact with them, even though it breaks my heart every day. Kind regards, Anonymous. Another one says, hi Clement, we're a big, close-knit family that does a lot of things together. Parties, celebrations, even funeral support. We're always there for each other. We have a brother that for some reason just doesn't blend in with the family. He will attend functions if and when it suits him, and where we always take it as a must attend, especially when planned way in advance. Even funerals, he will choose which to attend and which not, and that hurts us because every time we're together we miss his presence, and if we invited other people they would always ask, where is he? Because everyone is so used to us being together always. Many of us took turns to visit him and speak to him about this issue, but he always claims that there's nothing wrong and downplays the situation, but can't give good reasons why he doesn't attend. We've reached a point where we have made peace with his behavior, but it hurts. If someone hurt him and he speaks out, we would at least know why he behaves like he does, and we would either try to correct or at least understand why he behaves like that. Thanks, Anonymous. It's 12 minutes before 11.
702 delivers
on the matters that matter to you.
Hi everybody, my name is Thabo. I'm from Edenvale. To me, 702 is everything that one can ever dream about. It's home, it's dreams, it's aspiration, but mostly comfort.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts.
so we can deliver more on what matters to you.
702 listens.
Let's walk the talk.
News Justin, Pinky, a 60-year-old woman, slashed 870 Rand a month of her car insurance premium. That's right, Pinky switched to Outsurance and now saves a mind-blowing 870 Rand a month on a 2020 Kia Seltos 1.6. Outsurance clients always get something out, so get a quote today and see how much Outsurance could save you on your car insurance. Call 08600 60,000 or visit outsurance.co.za. Licensed insurer and FSP. T's and C's and information online.
Checkers XXL Savings is back with new deals every week. Save extra on Bacoma Wheat Bix 900 grams or cornflake cereal 1 kg. Any two for 99 Rand. Clover Gouda or cheddar cheese 800 grams. Any for 99.99. Plus stand to win the weekly XXL Jackpot competition. Simply buy any 3 participating products, swipe your extra savings card and get a scratch card to enter. Deals valid until Sunday at Checkers.
Every small business owner knows that you gotta dream big to achieve bigger. And Nedbank Business Ignite on 702 understands that it takes guts and determination to show up for your customers and expand your business and your bottom line. That's why we're looking for all SMEs of Gauteng that dare to reinvent, expand, and shake things up. You could win 200,000 Rand in cash or 200,000 Rand in advertising package to help you chase your small business dream. So if you're a small business that dares to disrupt the industry, enter on igniteyourbusiness.co.za for Nedbank Business Ignite on 702. T's and C's apply. Nedbank, an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
702
Healing Hour.
9 minutes before 11 o'clock. Let's go back to your WhatsApp voice notes.
Hi, Clement, my brother, and the team behind you. Yo, what a topic, my brother. Yeah, mine is too much. You know, when I grew up around 7 years, 8 years, every time when I do something wrong, my mother will shout at me and say, "You are useless." I was 7 years old. I grew up knowing that I'm useless. The year can begin and the year can end. She doesn't care about me. She won't even call me. She don't know even where I stay even now as I'm talking to you. Yeah, when it comes to family, yes, I got divorced to a woman I was married to since 2011. We divorced in 2021. And then they did not come in terms with the new partner I'm staying with. So I decided to distance myself from them. Family can be toxic. But the one for my mother, I chose to distance myself from her because everything that I'm doing every time, I thought that is because she said long ago that I'm useless. Sakile and Emelo.
Clement, my elder brother, my goodness, this guy has done everything wrong. You know, he's taken my dad's cars and crushed them left, right, center. He's drunk his varsity manners without attending a single class. He's gone to my dad's property and started selling my dad's cows and so on. You know, he's literally the black sheep of the family. Now that we're not kids anymore, we call him out. We say, hey, this behavior has to stop. Just the other day, he told our tenants to pay him rent money directly to his account, and suffice to say, we haven't seen a single cent of that money. So we told him this has to stop. Yeah, Clement, we've never heard from this guy for the last, this was like 4 months ago. He's got 2 kids. We don't know if the kids are alive. We don't know if he's alive. We don't know if the wife is, just because we called him out on the bad things he's doing. In this case, Clement, I mean, it's sad to be estranged, but hey.
Yeah, so I went through a bit of a situation where towards the end of 2023, I lost my job and went through a very rough patch. And yeah, I was struggling financially for quite a while, actually until pretty much the end of last year. I only started getting my things together, but during that period of time I was just brokering and managing to get by, but at the same time I didn't really want to be around my family because I felt embarrassed and I felt ashamed because I couldn't pay for the things that they wanted to pay for. I couldn't do the things that they wanted to do. So I'd rather not say anything. I'd rather just pull myself away from that environment completely, so I wouldn't have to be put in a situation where I'd have to say, oh, I can't afford this, I can't afford that. So I removed myself completely till my brother literally said to me one day, because we're actually very, very tight family, he said, listen, pull yourself together, you got a support structure here and they're here for this sort of thing. And yeah, I kind of did, and I don't know if it's just things just happen for a reason. I don't know. I just sort of opening myself up back towards my family again, and then yeah, I started getting my financial situation back together, and yeah, now everything's kind of back to normal how we used to be. But yeah, sometimes you just need someone to pull you aside and just give you a word or two.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, some of these stories are really heartbreaking. Anonymous on the WhatsApp line says, Clement, mine is a bit of a strange one. I have struggled to fit in with my family or even friends. My mother sheltered us from the world and family. We participated on a very limited basis in the bigger family gatherings or setups. She never allowed us to visit any of them outside of the big family events. I participate in family gatherings now and then, and when they all share stories of the great times which I was never a part of, I always feel out of place. When I finished matric, I moved to another city, studied, worked and lived my life and never had much contact with extended family except my family. Now at my older age, my mom forces me to interact with these people when I feel estranged too. The isolation made me a loner, and my depression makes it worse because I struggle in social settings where family or otherwise. That's a message from Anonymous and Centurion. Another one says, Clement, I want to remain anonymous. Sometimes it's the person who isolates themselves. My brother lives 15 minutes away, but he doesn't even come and visit. I still haven't met my nephew. He clearly doesn't want anything to do with us. What we did to him, he will never know. I have always, what we did to him, we will never know. I have decided to give him the space, and I hope that one day he will come back to us.
Clement, on the estrangement topic, I hope people who have got good, healthy, loving families realize how lucky they are. And also, it's hard to forgive. I listen to what people are saying. I can identify with a lot of it. Our family was broken up because of my mother. From a very young age, there were problems in the family for a lot of reasons. But as I pieced together her background as well, she came from a very, very poor and abusive background herself. We also need to realize, not everybody has got the strength to rise above their circumstances, and your circumstances shape you. So as much as we didn't have a loving relationship, as I grew older, I think I grew more understanding. It's still a process to forgive. It's not easy, but I think, there's that old truth of also try and walk in someone else's shoes. And it is very difficult. It is very difficult.
Good morning, Clement. This is a very, very sensitive, topic. I'd like to remain anonymous for this one. I have a very difficult, estranged-ish, I think, relationship with my mom. This is just stemming from, number one, that she never raised me. And number two, I just always felt like she chose her life. She chose her husband, which is my stepdad, and the family. Essentially, that's what she did. And then she has this thing of having to gaslight me in terms of how I feel and invalidating my feelings by making it seem as if she was
Hanging out with Clement
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.